Hello and welcome to this coachvox AI how-to video. My name's Ben, and in this one we're going to be looking at the training data training room, the place where we house all of your AI's training data. Let's get started. So welcome to the training data training room. Now this is a really important part of your coachvox AI because here's where virtually all of your training data is here to view, edit, delete, modify. And so this is kind of your AI's brain, if you like. So how does content end up here? Well, there's three mechanisms through which we will have AI training data appear. Firstly, from your knowledge upload training room 4. So those documents that you've uploaded, we spoke about that in another video, those prompts and completions will appear here. You can also add training data directly into the training data page, and that's going to be either individually by adding rows or via a CSV upload that we'll explain in a second. The third way that data can end up here is when your AI is live and people are interacting with your AI, you can go ahead and view the transcripts of those conversations. And if you want to tweak the prompt and completion pair that someone asked your AI and maybe modify the response given, you can go and edit them there. When you add that modification, that prompt and completion pair will also appear here in training data. So firstly, let's just recap why we have training data and what it's used for. So when anyone interacts with your AI, when they send a prompt, the first thing, or rather one of the first things we do is go and check this database for any relevant information that we have from your AI that will help us have the best response possible, basically using your experience, your ideas and knowledge. We integrate that information into the best possible response in the chat. So that's why it's really important to have a knowledge base that covers all your areas of expertise and the kinds of questions people will ask. So even if you're a leading expert and you've got loads of knowledge and people are going to really want to tap into that information, one of the things that you're going to have to cover are really basic questions about you and your business. And you'll see a few examples that I have here. So this kind of question, are you the real Ben, is something really common for an AI because people are kind of trying to get under the hood. They're trying to see how the AI acts when it's asked kind of meta questions. So we have the are you real? Who are you? Do you know Ben Cook? Of course, I'm the creator of this AI, and they want to see what those answers are. Now, the reason I mention that here is because you probably don't have any training data, blog articles, etc. that you uploaded in training room 4 to have as training data here. So that's the kind of example of things you might need to add manually, either one by one or through a CSV upload. So anything that's uploaded here directly in training data by default will be given this manual source. Anything that you uploaded in knowledge upload, if you gave it that source name, hopefully something unique and identifiable, that will show here in the source column. So you can kind of find prompts and completions that came from a specific document. So a couple of things to note straight away. We've got a recommendation on how many prompts and completions you should provide your AI. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but we've seen really good results from people with as few as 400 or 500 prompt and completion pairs, and those with more like 3,000, maybe up to 5,000 prompt and completion pairs. Any fewer than 500, we tend to see that the AI has to rely on just the information of the internet for a lot of its responses. And generally, if we have prompts and completions above, especially the 5,000 mark, we tend to see a lot of prompts and completions that are simply never going to get used. Maybe there's some duplicate prompt and completion data in there as well. So really, unless you're an expert with loads and loads of areas of expertise and really unique takes and concepts, we don't need to see tens of thousands of prompts and completions, and we very much want to focus on quality as opposed to quantity. We don't want duplicates, we don't want low quality where the prompts and completions don't make a lot of sense. And the biggest mistake people make when they're training their AI is to find every single podcast they've ever been on, to find every article they've ever written, all the pages of their website, and upload it all into the knowledge upload section. And they have tens of thousands of prompts and completions, of which very few are actually going to come out in a conversation because your target audience, for example, has a really narrow area of interest. They all have very similar challenges, and really you'd have been far better off having 200 or 300 really well crafted prompts and completions that are going to target those specific questions that your audience has. And so the range of prompts and completions that are available is certainly going to be dependent on how much information and content you have, how big your areas of expertise need to spread, but probably more importantly, how broad the interests are of your audience. Because if they are very niche and concentrated, you only have to cover that area. So let's look at specifics on how you'd actually add training data here. So if you scroll down, you will see this add row section. You hit add row and you see this blank prompt and completion area. You can go in and add your prompt, which remember could be a question, it could be a statement that your audience is constantly going to say. It could be, I feel hungry, I feel stuck, for example, and then you're going to edit your completion here. Let's have a look at some of that I've already answered here. If you want to edit to add lots of words and a big response, you can actually drag this box so you've got more space. You can, of course, copy and paste things from elsewhere. And essentially, we've made this as easy as possible to make edits to your prompts and completions. You've got the ability to filter and sort both by prompts and completions. And you also have a search field here whereby you will search both prompts and completions for certain keywords or key phrases. Now, one of the real benefits of that is maybe you're trying to remember what you said about a certain topic and maybe you need to make some edits to that. But also perhaps you just want to see how much information you've got on a certain topic. Maybe you're very heavy on one area. You search for a certain topic and you've got 100 prompts and completions, but you search for something else that you should be just as knowledgeable about, and maybe there are only 5 matching prompts and completions. So this is a good way to kind of see how well covered you are for certain areas. Another feature of the prompt and completion database is the ability to upload a CSV file. So instead of just uploading data in Training Room 4, where we process it and complete the prompts and completions and enter them here, you can actually go and directly create the prompt and completion data before uploading. So you can do this manually, but you could also, let's say, choose a file. Maybe it's one of those more complex transcript type conversations, and that's not going to necessarily make great prompt and completion data on its own. Maybe you go over to an LLM like ChatGPT and say, this is a bit of a messy podcast transcript. I want you to make it read more logically, and then you can even take the step to make it into prompt and completion pairs, tabulate it, and then actually upload it here as a CSV. And we've got lots of help for you on exactly how to upload the CSV, even a CSV template, to make sure you get it right. Now, of course, that means you have loads of control over exactly what the prompts and completions are. You're not leaving it up to the system. It's going to actually add those prompts and completions verbatim as you've created them, so you have loads of control. After you make any changes to your training data, it's very much recommended that you hit save. Remember, at any point you can delete various training data with the delete button here, and of course you can delete them from the same document if you go back to Training Room 4 and choose to delete a document's worth of prompts and completions. That's pretty much it for Training Room 5. Remember, if you are a coachvox creator, you have access to our community Slack, where we can help you with any advice, guidance and questions that you have. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for listening.